The computer game is essentially the natural development of the board or tabletop game. The thrill of sitting around the table with friends and family for an evening, passing the dice around and seeing who could get a hotel on Mayfair first. And no genre shows off these tabletop roots better than the turn-based strategy game. You know, basically half the games in Sid Meier's catalogue. Now, nothing I've said so far is exactly a revolution, but it is an important point to remember in the context of this review. So, with that in mind, let's look at As Far as the Eye from Unexpected Studios. Released on the 10th of September 2020 and costing £19.49, As Far as the Eye is, on the face of it, a Civilization clone. The hexagonal layout, the stylised isometric 3D, the use of caravans and tribes, it's quite literally all here. And that is not necessarily a bad thing. It's a style many players will be familiar with. Select your units, right click where you want them to go, tell them to build stuff, survive off the land. Simple and effective as it always has been. The big difference here is that while Civilization has you controlling the destiny of, well, an entire civilization, As Far as the Eye casts you in the role of the Wind. Your job is to whisper to small caravans of pupils as you guide them towards the Eye. The caravans are escaping a flood of truly biblical proportions, all as part of the cycle. Apparently this is a very repetitive apocalypse, and you must guide the pupils to collect whatever resources they need to complete various stages of their journey. The setup is actually pretty nice. You start out a significant distance from the Eye and have to pick and choose your way through procedurally generated halts, or chapters if you will. At each halt you choose which path you wish to take next and then set about achieving whatever objectives are required to allow your caravan to reach the next halt and eventually the Eye. The mechanics are sound too, as they again lean heavily on established models of certain buildings allowing the collection of certain resources, and you can't collect them until you have those buildings, so you have to collect the resources to build the buildings, so on and so forth. Actually, in this area, As Far as the Eye also borrows from Age of Empires and other real-time strategy games, as there are specific resources needed to build these new buildings, rather than simply researching and unlocking new technologies. In fact, the tech tree concept is pretty much abandoned altogether here. In its place is an RPG-style skill tree for each of the pupils under your control, so you can specialise them and gain perks along the way, usually an increase in the amount they can carry, or a decrease in the time that it takes to gather whichever resource they're gathering. Another Age of Empires nod is the necessity for all of your pupils to have somewhere to sleep. Your caravan can sustain 3, but any more you find on your adventures, and finding them is the only way to get extra pupils, will not work until you build them a place to sleep, thus causing another consideration for the resource management department. The various tiles and halts are well designed, and they are varied enough to make you feel like you are actually on a journey, and the soundscape and music are well done and once more add to the wilderness feel of the game. The campaign is well written, and the core concept is strong enough that the free play mode is always engaging and challenging. Everything about this offering is solid. But if I can go back to my opening statement, combining the two comparisons I've made in this review, let's imagine that Sid Meier's Civilization is Monopoly. It's a rush to claim resources, to build your empire, and to eventually destroy your competitors. In As Far as the Eye, however, there are no competitors. The only factor against you is time, and random events known as vagaries, which are usually natural disasters that set your objectives back and can, if unfortunately timed, be a real ball ache. But, to be honest, unless you're literally sitting there spamming the next turn button and paying no attention to anything else, there's usually plenty of time to achieve your objectives without too much concern. There are obstacles, like the protective spirits that prevent harvesting of resources within their influence, but these can be overcome in 2 or 3 turns, or the runes you can find, the exploration of which can grant negative effects, but you can analyse these if you have the right pupils before you go in, so you know ahead of time if you're jumping out of the proverbial frying pan, which kind of ruins the point. So, while Civilization is a game of Monopoly with 4 players all vying for resources, As Far as the Eye is a game of Monopoly with 1 player who is waiting for a bus that will probably arrive after they finish the game, and they can pick and choose whether they listen to the chance cards. It's not a bad game, and if you are looking for a relaxing time without having to worry about crushing opponents beneath your boots, then this will more than scratch that itch, but it probably won't offer much more than that. As Far as the Eye is an answer to the question, what if Civ 6 had a love child with Banished? And if you've ever asked that question, then this is worth a look. If you've never asked that question, though, this is probably not going to interest you. I would give it a gentle recommendation and a solid 6 out of 10. I've been Chris for Invicta Magazine, and thank you for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoyed it, please do give this video a like and a share. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and keep up with all our latest content. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, plus we stream regularly on Twitch, and you can find all those links in the description below along with our website. See you next time. Goodbye for now.